Chosen one, listen closely. This isn't an ordinary moment, it's sacred. It carries weight. You were never created for a half-lived life or to disappear inside the noise of the everyday. From the beginning there has been a seal over you, an unseen mark that sets you apart. That is why you have always sensed you were different. That is why the battles that came against you felt heavier than anything you saw around you. Heaven has been shaping you for a purpose that cannot be ignored. You have walked through valleys most people never even glimpse. You have carried pain quietly while smiling in public. But not a single tear has been wasted. Every silent cry has watered the soil of your destiny. You were never being buried, you were being planted. Picture a master blacksmith's fire. Steel is laid in the furnace until it glows. It looks as if it might melt, but when it is lifted out and hammered, it doesn't break, it takes shape. That is you. Every flame you've endured has been forming the weapon God designed you to be. When you step out of the furnace, you will not look the same. And you will not bow to pressure again. Let me tell you a story. There was a young woman, marked by God, who carried a dream too big to explain. She prayed and waited and prayed. Seasons passed and nothing changed. People laughed and whispered that she was wasting her life. But beneath the surface her roots stretched deeper and deeper. Then, in a single moment, the breakthrough arrived. The door that opened was so perfectly timed, so clearly heaven sent, that every year of waiting finally made sense. Her story mirrors yours. Delay is not denial, it is divine alignment. And the ancient text speaks into your life. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. That's Nahum chapter 1, verse 7. God is not watching you from a distance. He knows you by name. He knows the sound of your voice. He knows every hidden sacrifice and the quiet battles no one else sees. And He Himself is your fortress. Fear may roar, but it cannot breach that stronghold. This is your promise. You are not unprotected. Yet here is the warning. Your calling is not something to toy with. Do not keep postponing obedience as though tomorrow is guaranteed. Mercy is patient, but it is not endless. Every time you delay, you risk becoming numb to the very voice that calls you now. Chosen one, this is a divine alarm. Heaven is shaking you awake. Your presence disrupts the enemy. That is why you've been attacked, misunderstood, rejected. You carry a light that unsettles darkness. And this word, this very moment, is your turning point. Take a step of faith right now. If something inside you is resonating, don't stay silent. Declare it in the comments. Write 77 as a public sign that you are stepping into divine completion. Not tomorrow. Not someday. And don't keep it to yourself. Share this message so that someone on the edge of giving up will be pulled back into hope. Like this video so it travels further. Subscribe so every time a word like this is released, you're reminded and recharged. Chosen one, you are not ordinary. You are a lighthouse in a raging storm, a weapon forged in fire, a seed breaking through the soil. The Spirit has marked you, and heaven is waiting for your response. Pause and breathe this in. You have survived storms designed to drown you. Yet here you stand. That is not coincidence. That is evidence that God's hand has held you all along. You are living proof that darkness cannot swallow light, no matter how fierce the night becomes. But remember, your journey is not only for you. Every scar you carry will one day become a map for someone else wandering through the valley. Your story will unlock faith in others and prove that survival is possible, that breakthrough is real. You are a living testimony in progress. And when the appointed moment arrives, your voice will carry an authority born from pain and perseverance. So stay awake. Stay ready. Keep your heart open and your spirit sharp. This is not the end of your story. It is the first page of your next chapter. Chosen one, you know the weight you carry. Most people see only your smile, your composure, the way you keep moving. They do not feel the pressure inside you. What they call strength is, in truth, the art of survival. Every sleepless night, every hidden tear, every whispered prayer in the dark, none of it has been wasted. That weight is proof of your calling. People who are not chosen never wrestle with burdens this deep. If you were meant for an ordinary life, your path would be smooth. But destiny demands training, and training demands resistance. Like a tree forcing its roots through rock, you have been pressed against walls that seemed unmovable so your foundation could reach depths that storms cannot shake. You have asked, "Why me? Why must I carry so much?" The answer is hidden inside your very identity. Heaven trusted you with what others could not bear. This is not punishment, it is stewardship. A warrior is not tested with wooden swords, but with steel refined by fire. Think of a candle sealed in a dark room. The wax melts away, but the flame keeps giving light even as it consumes itself. That is how you have lived, offering warmth and guidance even when it cost you pieces of yourself. But hear this, the one who placed that flame inside you is about to replenish what has burned low. There was a man once, another chosen one, who felt the crushing weight of responsibility. He worked tirelessly to keep his family afloat. Every effort seemed to fail. Friends abandoned him. People he had helped turned against him. At last he cried out, "I can't hold this any longer." Yet at the very moment he thought he would break, God sent unexpected provision. The burden did not vanish, but his strength multiplied. Years later, he realized that season forged endurance and made him unshakable. His story is a reflection of yours. The load you carry is not the end of you, it is the making of you. The scriptures speak again, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved." That's Psalm 55 verse 22. These are not soft words meant only to comfort. They are a command filled with power. To cast is to throw, forcefully. God is calling you to stop carrying alone what was never meant to rest only on your shoulders. Yes, the weight has shaped you, but you are not meant to collapse beneath it. Heaven stands ready to hold you steady so no storm can uproot you. Chosen one, the heaviness you feel is not proof of weakness, it is proof of capacity. Like a great bridge trembling under the weight of heavy trucks, you may feel the strain. But that strain is the sign that you were built to carry more than most. Chosen one, listen carefully. You were not created to break under pressure, you were built for it. The one who designed your soul knows your limits better than you do. Trust that he will never let you collapse beneath the weight you carry. Here's the deeper truth. The burden you feel is not simply heaviness, it's a key. The very thing that presses on your shoulders will become the platform for your authority. Out of your greatest battles will rise your loudest testimonies. You will speak with a credibility that cannot be faked because you have walked the hard road yourself. Your scars will shine as living proof that healing is real. The world sees only fragments of what you have endured. But heaven has watched every hour. God has counted every tear, and not one has fallen unnoticed. You may feel hidden, but his eyes have never left you. So do not despise the weight you carry. It is not a curse, it is a crown disguised as struggle. In time, what once felt like chains will reveal themselves as the very training ground of a ruler. This heaviness will not crush you, it will launch you. Chosen one, your story is still unfolding. What feels unbearable today will one day become the testimony that gives hope to those who see no light. This burden is not breaking you, it is birthing you. Remember, even the longest night eventually surrenders to dawn. The pressure you feel now is only a shadow compared to the glory that is about to rise through you. Your weight is like a hidden seed, stretching, preparing to break open into something so unexpected it will even astonish you. Take heart, the Lord who called you has already measured every ounce of what you bear. He has also scheduled the moment when your strength will be renewed, and that moment is closer than you think. Chosen one, the Spirit is not vague with you. You've asked why cycles repeat, why breakthrough seems delayed, why certain doors never open. The answer may sting. There are things inside you that must be cut away before destiny can flow freely. This is not punishment, it is surgery. And surgery requires precision, not comfort. Some habits, attachments, and thought patterns cannot climb the mountain with you. It's like trying to scale a peak while carrying bags of stone. Every step is harder, not because the mountain is impossible, but because you are carrying weight that was never meant for the climb. God's diagnosis does not reveal what is wrong with you. It reveals what no longer belongs with you. Picture a garden in late spring. Flowers bloom, but weeds creep around the roots. If the weeds stay, they choke the very life they share soil with. That is what happens in your spirit when compromise and delay go unchecked. They look harmless at first, but eventually they drain the strength you need for your purpose. This diagnosis is not condemnation. It is a loving call to uproot the weeds before they suffocate your harvest. There was once a young woman, also chosen, who tried to keep her old life while reaching for the new. She prayed, served, and sang, yet secretly held onto friendships and habits that dimmed her fire. One night she sensed an unmistakable whisper, "You cannot carry both." The words shook her. She wept. But when she finally released what God asked her to release, the acceleration was immediate. Doors opened. Clarity returned. A peace she had not felt in years came rushing in. Her story proves that God's pruning is never to harm, it is to set free. Scripture reminds us in Proverbs 27 verse 6, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy." God is that faithful friend. His correction may sting. His pruning may feel like loss, but it is always for your protection. Better to endure his wound that heals than to embrace the enemy's false comfort that destroys. Here is where the urgency rises. Many people drift because they refuse to release what God has already called dead. They cling to old relationships, old behaviors, old versions of themselves, and then wonder why new life never appears. But life and death cannot occupy the same space. To step forward, you must let go. To embrace destiny, you must cut ties with delay. Do not resist this diagnosis. The thing you fear losing may be the very chain keeping you from your breakthrough. Trust him enough to let him remove what is killing your fire. His hands are skilled, his timing perfect, and his purpose sure. Now, I need you to respond. Not with silence, but with agreement. Type these words in the comments. Cut it OFF. This is more than typing. It is aligning your spirit with heaven's sharp but loving hand. You declare that you choose obedience over compromise, healing over delay, pruning over choking weeds. Chosen one, you are not being destroyed, you are being refined. The fire in you is too important to be smothered by lesser things. Release what must go and watch how quickly the next season unfolds. Think about this. When a doctor gives a diagnosis, it is never to shame the patient. It is to expose what must be treated so healing can come. In the same way, when God reveals what needs to be removed, it is not to humiliate you, it is to preserve your life. The discomfort you feel is the evidence that heaven is working in the deepest places of your heart. If he did not love you, he would leave the weeds to grow unchecked. The pruning may separate you from people, places, or habits you once thought were permanent. That separation is painful, yes, but it is also sacred. Each time you release something God never approved, you create room for his promises to take root. What looks like emptiness at first will later overflow with fruit that cannot be shaken. This is the mystery of obedience. What feels like loss becomes the very place of gain. Here lies the challenge. Will you resist the cut, or will you surrender to it? The choice is yours. But remember this, on the other side of surrender lies freedom, and freedom is worth every tear, every goodbye, every stretch of faith. Obedience is never wasted. It is always rewarded. Chosen one, you stand right now on the edge of mercy's wide river. It is deep, it is generous, but it is not endless. God's mercy has carried you farther than you realize. Through mistakes, through rebellion, through seasons when you almost gave up. But mercy has a purpose, to lead you into obedience, not to excuse disobedience forever. Picture a river flowing strong and steady, nourishing everything in its path. But if a dam is built, the water keeps rising, pressing harder and harder. For a while it still flows, but eventually the weight will break through. Mercy works the same way. It keeps covering, keeps holding back judgment, keeps giving chance after chance. But a moment comes when the pressure of ignored warnings builds beyond the wall. You have felt that tug before, a whisper to turn back, a nudge to stop, a quiet conviction before you cross the line. That was mercy's voice. The danger is not that you never heard it, but that you sometimes silenced it, thinking you had more time. Hebrews 10 verse 26 speaks with sober clarity. If we deliberately continue sinning after receiving the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins. These are not words meant to scare, they are a wake-up call. Mercy is a door, but a door meant to be entered, not admired from a distance. Chosen one, do not stand outside. Step through while there is still time. These words are not soft. They are not meant to soothe you to sleep, they are meant to wake you up. Mercy calls out, but rebellion blinds the ears. If you keep pressing against the edge, if you keep testing how far you can go, you risk letting your heart grow so hard that you no longer recognize the voice that has been rescuing you. Picture a candle flickering through the night. The flame bends, it dims, it brightens again. All the while the wax is slowly disappearing. And when the last drop of wax is gone, the flame dies. Mercy is like that wax. It lasts longer than you expect. It stretches beyond what anyone deserves. But it is not endless. To ignore its warmth is to gamble with the dark. There was once a man who lived under the weight of countless second chances. Time after time the Spirit nudged him. Again and again he whispered, "I'll change tomorrow. I'll come back when I'm ready." But tomorrow never arrived. The whispers grew fainter. And one morning he woke to a silence that chilled him. What he called freedom was really emptiness. And the most terrifying silence is when heaven stops speaking, when conviction no longer stirs, when the door of mercy seems closed. His story is not told to shame you, but to warn you. Do not mistake silence for peace. Sometimes silence means mercy has stepped aside. Yet here is the other side of the story. If these words are reaching you, if something inside you feels the sting of conviction, your spirit is still alive. That ache is proof that God's hand is still stretched toward you. The door is not shut. This very message is mercy knocking one more time. Mercy is not weakness. It is fierce, protective love. It pulls you back from cliffs you never saw coming. It shields you from battles you could not survive. It gives you breath when you should have drowned in despair. But mercy asks for a response. It whispers, "Will you return? Will you obey? Will you stop wandering?" Chosen one, feel the weight of this moment. You are standing in a holy tension. On one side a love that refuses to let you go. On the other a boundary that will not stretch forever. This hour is serious. You cannot treat it as ordinary. Mercy has carried you right to this line. What you choose next will shape what comes after. Step into obedience and mercy will flood you with peace, with strength, with a new beginning. Resist, and the weight you thought you could bear will crash over you. This is why you must not harden your heart. Let mercy work while it is still reaching for you. The most dangerous lie is that there will always be another chance. That lie has led countless souls into darkness. People who assumed mercy would wait forever. But mercy was never meant to be stretched without end. It was meant to lead you home while the door is open. So listen carefully. If you feel the tug of conviction now, do not ignore it. Respond while your heart is still tender. A soft heart is proof that heaven has not let you go. Chosen one, destiny is never a lonely road. Though the call rests on you personally, your journey is braided with the lives of others. Heaven has stationed angels to guard you, but it has also placed people beside you. Voices, mentors, fellow warriors who will remind you, you are not alone. Think of a single coal pulled from a fire. At first it still glows, but away from the others its heat fades. Set it back among the flames, and it bursts into brightness again. That is what happens when you walk with those who carry the same flame of faith. Your courage grows. Your light multiplies. Your endurance stretches further than you thought possible. You already know the opposite. Times when you fought in silence, believing isolation was strength. But isolation is not strength. It is slow exhaustion. The enemy whispers that no one understands, that no one cares, that you are on your own. But the truth is different. Your voice matters. Your fight matters. And others' destinies are tied to your victory. There was a chosen one who wandered for years, convinced his battles were his alone. He wore shame like armor, keeping everyone out. The longer he hid, the heavier his burden grew. Finally, he opened his life to a trusted circle of believers. They prayed, they fasted, they carried one another's loads. Slowly his chains broke. His fire returned. And the very community he once avoided became the fortress that kept him standing. His story proves this. We were never meant to survive alone. Scripture affirms it. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls, one can help the other up." Chosen one, heaven is calling you into alignment, not only with God, but with the people He has set along your path. Alone you may stumble, but together you rise. This is the season to open your heart, to connect deeply, to walk beside those who fan your flame instead of smothering it. And let me speak plainly. Words like these do not appear out of thin air. They are prayed over, studied, written and refined, so that chosen ones across the world are reminded of who they are. Think of this work as a well in the desert. Every time you arrive thirsty, the water is here, refreshing and sustaining. But a well must be cared for. It must be cleaned and refilled, so that others passing through the desert can drink too. This space, these words, are that well. If you ever feel led, you can help keep the water flowing. Supporting this mission is never a transaction. It is participation. Some give prayers, lifting this work in the Spirit. Some give time, sharing the message so it reaches those desperate for hope. Some, as they are able, give resources, planting seeds so that more light can spread. If you feel stirred to give, know this. It is never demanded. It is never a condition for receiving. It is simply a free choice. A seed planted in the soil of spreading light. Even the smallest act, like a drop of oil poured into a lamp, helps the flame burn longer. The point is not the size of the gift, but the heart behind it. And if your heart feels moved, your prayer, your sharing, your giving, becomes part of the fire that heaven is kindling across nations. So as you hear these words, I invite you, take the step your spirit is urging you to take, while mercy is still reaching.